that's where the system breaks down, because most major departments, I can give you like, for example, NYPD patrol guide states the officer shall make contact. There's no waiting for your sergeant. There's no waiting for command and control. There's no waiting for the tactical team. Go in and put the son of a bitch down. Excuse my language, but that's what it takes. And that's what everyone has been trained to do.
Okay, so here we're... So the trial of Officer Adrian Gonzalez, I think it's at this point, it is now in its second week, and he was one of the very first police officers on the scene at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. That just sad tragedy at that school, in which we lost 21 kids and we lost 19 kids and 2 teachers. So this police officer, Adrian Gonzalez, I believe is his name. He is, he's on trial. They're going after him for his inaction. And throughout the course of the trial, there is newly released footage that shows his activity. So let's take a look at some of this. And again, I mean, they're not going to show, well, just be mindful. This is actual footage that's going to show the person responsible for this massacre. Just this warning.
So here we have the crash that happens outside, and now he's entering the building. David Katz, I'll start with you. Anything?
And I don't remember a lot of the details. This happened in 22, but man, how is he able to just walk in the door like that?
That you're seeing, anything that you're noticing?
Yeah, when you see the totality of the video, and I've seen big parts of it, one thing you see right away, the school was aware of shots being fired outside. They should have gone into their immediate active shooter response, lock everything down, secure the children immediately, all exterior doors.
Right there.
You know, now that wasn't.
Oh my.
You know, the toughest thing, Vinny, and I'm sure Trevor feels the same way. When you watch this video and there's a notation, it says screams of children, the sounds of that edited from this video. I could barely speak when I watch this.
Absolutely. And I think it's also important to note, I'm going through my training right now in my mind as we're watching this video, and everything that we're taught is evidence-based. We've adopted the alert training system here in Georgia, and it's evidence-based. It tells us by the time we arrive to these situations, more than likely this is what has already occurred. That's why it's so incredibly important that you engage the threat immediately. So you can see that taking place. You can hear the gunshots. And this is based on what typically happens in a school shooting. The seconds are just precious.
Every time we hear a shot, another life is being taken.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You're hearing children being murdered. And then when you see the police show up, they stop. That is against, I mean, listen, you know, I'm sure everyone you talk to, these guys right here, get in that classroom. Put your life on the line. And you know what? If you don't go home tonight, it's better than living the rest of your life having to know that you were outside, that you made it through when all...
Man, that is... I mean, what he's saying is absolutely right. You have to rush in, and definitely these people who decide to do this, decide to serve in this way, they are definitely heroes. I'm reminded of 9/11 when first responders, they were running to this danger where everyone else was retreating from it. Oh, I just got a feeling in my heart right now as he was given commentary, as you can hear those shots. And I mean, with looking at this, you can understand the parents of these kids who are no longer with us. Like, yeah, I can understand. They'd be frustrated. Like there is, you want them to go forward, to engage, to get in there and put your life on the line.
These children were butchered, and you could have done something.
But what's kind of disheartening is the first thing that I see, the first two officers that enter and start making their way towards those classrooms, that is essentially a part of what we're trained with our active shooter training now. Before, we were told that you did wait on the cavalry. You did wait to stack up and do all these things we had been taught tactically. But the initial response for those officers to go towards the sound of gunfire is exactly what we were taught. It's the things that happen immediately after, shortly after this, that obviously concern us.
Yeah, the whole idea that after Columbine, I mean, and the Israelis have known. I've been across. I was the DEA liaison, training liaison with the Israeli Security Agency, and I watched their response to shooting incidents. And this is what they do: you attack the shooter. If you go down, the next one will get him. If they go down, the next one will get him.
Absolutely.
You keep throwing guns and bodies until that guy is down.
Especially when you have these situations involving the loss of innocent life, particularly children. Again, one of the hardest things that you have to do when you're Monday morning quarterbacking another fellow law enforcement officer's response. If you have not been in this situation, if you've never been in a situation where you have bullets whizzing by your head, some people will say you're not qualified. But I've been in those situations. I've also had this very realistic training where they teach you what to do. And, a friend mentioned to me after this was released today that it is important that you train your officers to their breaking point and beyond. If you don't know what your limitations are, you don't know how to push past that.
That's a really good point. And that's why hats off to the people who decide to do that, because I don't want to do that. I don't know if I have it in me to respond the way that you need to respond in this kind of situation where I'm rushing towards the bullets. And this is here. Now you see 22 minutes later, we're still here. I don't know what happened to these guys up here. And I think maybe one of the guy who was on trial was standing about right here earlier as we were watching this video.
Is it natural once you hear gunfire to maybe look for cover, to maybe regroup? It may take you a split second or so, but after you realize in your head what fire, to maybe look for cover, to maybe regroup your gunfire.
I think this is the guy who I just posted a video of him giving testimony. He was at the gym when he got the call, and that's why he's in shorts and a shirt. He's got his vest, and I think he said in his testimony the only thing he had with him was an AR, which is what you see
push past that
in his hand.
Is it natural once you hear gunfire?
And also the other thing that we learned during his testimony is that he's got a kid at the school, and he's off duty.
To maybe look for cover, to maybe regroup. It may take you a split second or so, but after you realize in your head what's going on, your training should kick in, that muscle memory, and we're going to charge towards the sound of gunfire, towards the screams, and we're going to eliminate that threat. And as you mentioned, very well said, if I go down, then someone's coming to drag me out of the line of fire, but those behind me are going to push right past me, and we're going to handle business.
David,
that's right.
We're seeing the lapse of time here. 22 minutes later, now 11 minutes later. So this is about 33 minutes or so into this video.
Do you? I mean, you see officers in the hallway. They're standing there.
I can tell you, David. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
you know what's happening.
I'm sure you feel
here
the same way.
Watch this.
What are they waiting for?
They're waiting for someone to make a decision.
Ooh. And you know what? This is not my line of work. I'm not going to judge these guys. But, one of them is being judged because he's on trial for what he did not do. And it's interesting. I don't know how many other people are going to be charged, but yeah, if I'm looking at this, you got a lot of people who are waiting. And as we said, the expert said here, said that this is waiting on someone to make a decision. And that's, again, I'm looking at this from the perspective of a parent who lost their child. You don't want to see this standing around and waiting for making a decision.
That's where the system breaks down, because most major departments, I can give you like, for example, NYPD patrol guide states the officer shall make contact. There's no waiting for your sergeant. There's no waiting for command and control. There's no waiting for the tactical team. Go in and put the son of a bitch down. Excuse my language, but that's what it takes. And that's what everyone has been trained to do. But apparently, I mean, look at that, you're seeing guys, they're wearing the SWAT rags, they got the helmets, they got the vests, they got the long guns, they got shields, which by the way are not rifle rated shields. I can see that looking at them. And they're standing there putting hand sanitizer on their hands.
I've seen this before. I will tell you, I've been a part of it in a raid scenario. When you do see that gathering up, Vinny, I will tell you that, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever you guys want to call it, this is typically what happens in a normal situation. You're standing around, you're getting a game plan together, someone is going to make a decision and say go. What has happened is, with this situation with these school shootings all the way back to Columbine, they have made an attempt to pre-train us, throw away everything that you've been taught in law enforcement about how to handle these situations. And now we have this new law enforcement response, this rapid response training that teaches you this is the old way, what you're seeing here. And I don't know what they've been taught in Texas. I know here in the state of Georgia, whether it's a state agency, a local agency, we all have had the alert training, which teaches us that I don't have to train with those other two guys that came in that I've never seen. We all know what we're supposed to do. You take +1, just like those first two did, and you charge down that hallway. They did exactly what we are trained to do. Now, where the breakdown happened later on, I think that once you see that lead person making a decision, whether it's...
So you hear there's more gunfire. Now they're reacting differently. But again, looking at this from the perspective of a parent, like, man, I don't know how many time lapses we've gone through, but they've been standing there a while trying to get their stuff together and figure out what the plan is, or just wait for somebody of rank to make a decision. But oh my goodness, come on guys, get in there.
To retreat or not, this part right here, I believe that it was that psychological effect, and everybody does what they see that first person doing.
Right now is the point where they are now, I believe, entering the classroom, and you heard the shots fired. Wow.
Vinny, do you see that officer that right before you cut?
He's talking about this guy.
Vinny,
that it was that psychological effect, and everybody does what they see that first
I think he's going to talk about this guy. This is
where they are now, I believe.
I'm confused by that. I'm confused by that because I would think if you know this one shooter, yeah, we're going in and we're going to take that guy out, and perhaps the first guy is going to go down, but I'm sending bodies and weapons to get you. That was interesting. I noted that too.
Entering the classroom, and you heard the shots fired. Wow.
Vinny, do you see that officer that right before you cut? There's an officer standing off to the right of the shot, who's like doing this with his hand, biting his hand. What do you want to bet one of his kids was in that classroom?
Oh.
What do you want to bet? And they were keeping him out. That's every one of our children. I have children. As a father, I would want to go home to my kids at night, but God forbid they have to spend the rest of their lives knowing that their dad was there and did nothing.
Ooh. So this is a compelling situation here, and the first of its kind. So the outcome is going to be really interesting. Again, we have one of those officers who responded is on trial for their response or lack thereof during the shooting, the massacre at this school, which, I mean, we'll never forget. And I think this is him right here, Officer Adrian Gonzalez. I think that's him right there. And as you can see, he is, one of the first few people there. And then I remember eventually he's going to be shown outside talking to other officers. But yeah, here he is. So we'll see. We're going to continue to follow this trial. I think it's in its second week, and you can be sure I'll have more updates for you. Thank you so much for tuning in.